And good evening, everyone, and welcome along to this seminar on corporate membership made clear. I'm delighted so many people are finding this of interest. We're finding this a lot of interest right across Britain and Ireland, to the point that we had over 500 registered for tonight, and I can see that we're now just sitting on 300 on the call. So welcome, everyone. So the purpose is to go through what is corporate membership, how does it work, answer some of the questions, and as part of that there is a Q&A button along the screen, and there's an opportunity for you to ask questions in the Q&A. We also got something like 400 questions from those that registered. So put your questions in the Q&A as we're going along. If you've asked them before, either they will be answered during the call, or we will definitely make sure they're all answered after the call. We've got a couple of excellent people along to support us tonight. We've got Joy Palmer-Cooper and we've got Martin Smith from Newton Abbot. But we'll start off with Joy Palmer-Cooper. Joy is an immediate past district governor from Northumberland direction. She's also on the board of Britain and Ireland and has been fundamentally involved in developing everything corporate membership. So with no further ado, Joy, over to you.
Thank you, Ken, very much indeed. And can I add my welcome to everybody? It's wonderful to see so many people here this evening who are interested in developing corporate membership. And I'm going to begin the webinar by just looking at some absolute basics, some very, very simple facts about corporate membership for those who haven't yet got on this exciting journey. So corporate membership, what it's all about is making Rotary relevant to business. Next slide. That's great. So we're making Rotary relevant to the world of business. Now, there are two words that we keep using. One is corporate, the other is business. And that suggests we are looking at substantial businesses, the corporate world, profit-making businesses. And the first myth I really want to dispel is that it doesn't have to be a business in that sense of the word. Charities are very excellent corporate members. In my club, we have 4 schools as corporate members, a high school and 3 primary schools where there are Rotary kids. NGOs, corporate members, golf clubs, football clubs, sailing clubs, restaurants, hotels, museums, and so on and so on. So any organization, and I'm going to use the word organization in the same sentences as the word business, please understand that it doesn't have to be a profit business. It can be any organization in your community. And for any Rotary club, the place where that club meets is obviously a very good place to start, be it a hotel, a golf club, a pub, or whatever, if your club is one who meets on a regular basis. Next slide. Now, this is just a very straightforward introduction, and all I'm going to say about this slide is there are lots of benefits of corporate membership to both parties, both to the Rotary Club, who is bringing in corporate members, and also to the organizations who are the corporate members. Obviously, the club is increasing its membership, and a little bit later in this webinar, I will be talking more about the benefits to both parties. So I think may we have the next slide. The model of corporate membership which we have adopted in Rotary Great Britain and Ireland is the one that you see on the screen before you. So this is the accepted Rotary Great Britain and Ireland model, where we have one primary Rotary member from the organisation, the business. And then that organisation can nominate another 1 or 2 or 3 persons who are employees, people who are associated with that organisation as alternate members. They don't have to have alternate members. Some corporate members only have a principal member, some have 1 alternate, some have 2, some have 3. So really what this is, it's a membership package. It's a membership of a Rotary club, which is shared among a group of very busy people, because by definition, these people are working or engaged in running their organization. So whether you have one or whether you have 1+ alternate members, the business is going to pay one subscription to the Rotary Club, which it is belonging to. And that subscription is the same as the members in that Rotary Club pay. So in my club, all of our corporate members pay £125 a year, which is the same as I pay and every other pays. And that subscription will be paid by the organisation. So that is the model which we have adopted, and that is the model which the materials in the toolkit, which we'll be talking about later, refer to. Next slide, please. There is a second model, which there is nothing at all wrong with this model, where the club would charge a fixed rate for an agreed number of members. So say you've got 3 people in a business and they say, oh, we'd all like to be full Rotarians. Absolutely fine. They would all pay the same subscription as every member in the club. But I'm very, very aware that there are very few people who are adopting Model 2. So by far the most significant model is Model 1, where you've got one principal and then a number of alternate members, all paying the same subscription as the Rotary Club. Okay, next slide. And thank you. From all of the experience that I've had working with corporate members, I can assure everybody on this call it is a win-win partnership. Corporate members are a very valued part of the Rotary family. They bring benefits to the clubs. They gain a huge amount of benefits for their own business, and I will be talking more about that a little later. And this is impacting upon employees and members of the Rotary Club. And it is really a partnership where everybody gains. Next slide. We're often asked, what is the difference between corporate members and enterprise members? What is the difference? And as this slide suggests, members who are corporate members are joining a local Rotary club, whereas enterprise members are joining Rotary Great Britain and Ireland nationally. Is the channel open to clubs? The answer most certainly is yes. For corporates, they are joining a Rotary club, whereas enterprise, that is handled very differently by Rotary Great Britain and Ireland, and the enterprise members are coordinated regionally by the support centre. It is Rotary clubs who are attracting corporate members. And so all of the relationship, the partnership between yourselves and the corporate is down to the Rotary Club to engage with and to develop. Type of businesses, there is absolutely no limit on how many people have to be in a business to be a corporate member. But I would say that generally they tend to be smaller businesses than those which would be better placed in the enterprise model. But there's no fixed number. So this is not a case of, you know, if it's 50 members, it's a corporate, and if it's 51, it's an enterprise. The world doesn't work like that. I think it's up to every club to look at a potential business or organization who may wish to join Rotary, and then to make a value judgment as to whether it's best for it to be a corporate member or to go down the enterprise route. And obviously this evening we are focusing entirely on the corporate membership route. And the number of members in the company, as I say, corporates are usually the principal plus up to 4, whereas enterprise would be a significant number of people who are joining Rotary as enterprise members. And the next slide, and I think this is my final slide. Myth busted, as the slide says. Is it difficult? Most certainly not. This is something that every single club can go and do tomorrow. You will have, I can't imagine a Rotary club without somebody in the locality, the community of that club, who may be interested in being a corporate member. It is not difficult. Will it disrupt the club culture? And again, I can well understand people asking that question. From experience, the answer is no. It enhances the club culture. It brings new ideas. It brings new people. It brings new energy into the club to take your projects forward and obviously to engage in fellowship and the fun and all of the things we do as Rotarians. It doesn't disrupt the club, it significantly enhances it and augments it. And the final point on this slide is, how about, do corporate members engage or attend? And I will be saying a little more about that later because it's a very, very important point. Of course, corporate members will attend, but they may not attend every week. They're highly unlikely to attend every week. Good reasons for that. And again, I will say more about that in a few moments. But of course, if they're going to attend, there have to be good reasons to attend and to engage. So it's very, very important that the Rotary Club has a programme which is going to appeal to and attract corporate members. So Ken, thank you very much. That's just a quick introduction to the basics. And we move on to the next chapter.
Thank you very much, Joy, for that and very quick overview. What we're going to do now is we're going to move on and have a discussion with Newton Abbot. Newton Abbot's been particularly successful in this. And tonight we've got with us Martin Smith, who's been one of the fundamental drivers in this in Newton Abbot. So, Martin, we'll do this as a question and answer if we can. So, tell us about the size of Newton Abbot. A lot of people say our place is not big enough, or it's too big, or so. What size is Newton Abbot? What kind of town is it?
Well, yes. Good evening, Ken and everybody. Newton Abbot is a market town. We have approximately 29 to 30,000 in the locale of Newton Abbot. It's a 13th century clock tower in the middle there, so it's quite an old town. It grew in the mid 18th century by the railway coming of Brunel and all also with going on with that. People may know it more as where's a local race course, which has been there for over 150 years. We, as a Rotary Club, have been around since 1922. So we had our centennial a couple of years ago.
Ah, fantastic. And you've been particularly successful in attracting corporate members. How many members do you have in Newton Abbot, and how many are corporate members?
Well, overall, we have direct members we have 57 direct members, or ordinary members, if you like. 40 of them are male, 17 female, with an age of 74 and 63 in question. At the moment, we have 29 corporate members. We have another one joining next week, so that'll take us up to our 30th, of which they're made up of 19 male and 11 female. As primary members with an average age of 45 and 48 years. But on top of that, we obviously have friends, or alternates as they are now, or the alternates, we call them friends, and corporate associates. We have 40 of those. We have 22 male and 18 female with, again, average age of 47 and 48. Got 5 in their 20s, 5 in their 30s, 13 in their 40s. And then back it up with 4 honorary and 3 friends. So the whole membership of what we call of our Newton Abbot family is 134 individuals.
Wow, that's fantastic news. And by the sound of that, that's making a huge difference to your ability to do additional work, additional projects as well.
Oh, 100%. We have the links we have with with their contacts and their financial contributions, of course, but their skill and experiences help. We've done an awful lot. The last Rotary year, we've distributed over £50,000 to over 50 charities. So they've been a good part of it.
Yeah, that's fantastic news, and the ability to look at the action plan and expand our reach and do things even more, expand our capability is so much better with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So how do you manage to attract corporate members? People say, so what's the best way? Do I fire a letter? What on earth do I do how do you open the door?
Talk. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Don't send emails, don't send letters. You've got to go to meet people. A big favourite of mine is old Bob Hoskins, who said it's good to talk, and that's what we do. I'm fortunate to have had a lot of contacts in the area. My history has had a fire safety business, and love them or hate them, everybody else have fire extinguishers. So my broad collection of businesses of contacts was quite large. We were big in the southwest, and a lot of them have become friends, and quite a few have become Rotarian members as well now.
And you target at the CEO level, the business owner level, or do you work up and
It's
down?
the first point of contact, really. It could be at a social event, it could be a game of golf, it could be I see something on media, LinkedIn or whatever, which I'm quite active on. I look for a business or an individual who follows the ethos of Rotary of looking after people, doing charity works. That's my first point of contact. Not necessarily straight to the top. It normally leads on and gets somebody to engage with us.
Sure. And do you find HR departments, human resource departments, a worthwhile place to go to?
Yeah, anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's the foreman of the business. Somebody who's been there 30 years knows probably the CEO very well. Whoever will engage to begin with. I don't do it too formally. It comes from a conversation, or occasionally it's just a message on LinkedIn, or I meet them at a social event. I'm quite active in the area on various things. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's good. LinkedIn's a great way of linking, if you pardon the pun, with lots of different things and getting in there. And then what do? You invite them into chat, discussion. How do you introduce them into?
Well, we can meet for a coffee, or they'll come to one of our meetings. We always try and encourage any corporate business to come to a meeting as a first thing to do.
Sure.
And that has been very successful. We started our corporate membership back in 2016, so it's been going for a while now. And we started having open meetings, one a year. We had two in our first year, 2016, and that is just we don't call it a membership meeting or any sort of thing. Just call it an open, and we just show what Rotary is all about. And on every open meeting we've had, we've picked up 1, 2, or 3 corporate members. Yeah.
And it's so important not to take somebody along for their first introduction to a business meeting or something formal.
Very much slowly catch a monkey. We don't pressurize whatsoever. Although I can be quite persuasive at times, as some people will tell you in my club. But if I find somebody of interest, I keep talking to them or engaging with them politely. I try not to be too pushy, but I normally win them over. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Somebody asked one of the questions in the when the register says, "What do you do with somebody that gives you a flat no?"
Try another angle. Have a look. Find out if it's somebody. They say no. It's not for them. Rotary isn't for everybody, and a lot of businesses haven't got the time. I understand that it's difficult times for business, but I remember maybe in a couple of years go back to them. As I say, we've been going through 2016. There's the lady actually joining us next week's our breakfast meeting. I've made first contact with her probably 3 years ago. And occasionally I say hi on LinkedIn or through another member. So I try and keep a good eye on who's going on in our area. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And how do you engage them in Rotary activities? What kind of activities do you pull them into?
It's hard to get them to come along we do an awful lot of marshalling for various events. But quite often, to be quite honest with you, it's more a financial contribution, sponsor a golf day. For example, tomorrow I'm at a charity golf day. One of my corporate members knows I'm supporting it, and that one of their customers sells fruit drinks, so they're giving me a load of fruit drinks. Yeah. One of our corporate members is big printers, global printers in that. They print all our leaflets and promotional material free of charge for us. They're contributing in so many different ways. We had the apprenticeship challenge in our area down the southwest, and of the 11 teams we put through to it, all of them were sponsored by a club. By a business, and even one of them produced a video to give to the schools to show them how to use the entrepreneurship and give them some ideas. So they do contribute amazingly.
So what do they get out of it?
What do they get out of it? Well, firstly, and the reason why I first started our scheme, because then I was the CEO of my business, and I was getting more and more frustrated with my junior managers not really engaging. They were email or not talk to them. I set my business up by building relationships. This is what we can give to people coming along, the young alternates or corporate members. we can give them opportunities to grow their network with people like-minded generally, also for a corporate business, it's part of their corporate responsibility as well.
Yeah.
And also when they're attending, if they're a trade business, they need to put on a lot of quotes for tendering what their community responsibility is. So they get an awful lot out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, good. So if you were to start again, would you do anything differently next time?
Not a lot. I'll say it's 9 years. 9 years. It's been steady. Very happy with the people we've got. Some have come, some have gone. The advantage of having alternate members, if particularly in let's say an insurance company, for argument's sake, if the primary member leaves, we've got somebody in the background to come in.
Sure.
So we keep the continuity going. And it's happened many a time for us. We've not had the same primary members for some of our corporates on occasion. It's also it brings funds to the company, to the club, various things, whether it's for our charitable or to help out the things we need to do to host events, and offer us venues. For example, where we meet is a golf club. They're corporate members, but they let us store out 20-foot container in their grounds free of charge, and they let us have the venue. So they all get a lot out of it, and we get a lot out of it, very much so. And I wouldn't change much of that, really. No.
Yeah, that's really good. And there's different aspects. So thank you for that just now. What we're going to do is pop back to Joy, who's going to give us a little bit more, and then we'll come back onto the Q&A.
Okay.
So Joy, can I pass back to you now?
Yeah, thanks very much, Ken. Yeah, I just like to very briefly look at three things, and they're three things that we're very, very regularly asked about corporate membership. The first thing I just want to say a little bit more about is what is in it for them. Martin's already alluded to a good number of the benefits which corporate members gain. So let me just run through what I perceive as the benefits, and they're the sorts of things I would talk about when I go to talk with a potential corporate member. Very obviously, there's going to be opportunities for the employees to engage in service activities and engage in volunteering in whatever ways that club is able to make available. Very obviously, opportunities for fellowship, social events, making new friendships. If it's a business where their employees travel from another town or a distance into their workplace, they probably want to meet people in the local community. So that's very important to some corporate members. Then contributions to corporate social responsibility, CSR, and environment, social governance, ESG. Those acronyms are so important in many businesses today, and they are looking for ways in which they can enhance their corporate social responsibility and social governance, etc. And Rotary can provide those things, and that makes a very good addition to their annual reports. Very important for some businesses, not for all, but for some. I think very importantly, by becoming linked with Rotary, the businesses are seen in the community as being community-minded employer. And I think that's so important, that they are seen to be part of the community if they're engaging with Rotary and volunteering in the community. What more? Okay, lots of opportunities for employees to gain social skills, and for younger employees, public speaking experience. Corporate members make very good speakers at Rotary meetings, and what a golden opportunity that is for younger employees to gain public speaking experience. Access to business networking, locally and across the Rotary international world. And again, I can speak from experience that some corporate members have networked extremely efficiently with other corporate members, and they have found that very, very valuable. Then the company's image is promoted in the community. Their logo can be on your website. You are likely to be talking about the corporate members in your community, so they're getting promotion in the community. And again, that's very important. They will get a plaque for their business premises, wider promotion that they are corporate members, opportunity for business networking locally, and where this is relevant, potential for gaining new customers. Now, that's an awful lot of benefits that I've just run through, and I fully appreciate that people may want to see those. They can be made available, and indeed, I'll ensure that all the benefits for the company are in the corporate membership toolkit. How it affects a traditional club? Well, I think the answer to that is basically in 3 ways. First of all, it's a wonderful way of lowering the average age of a traditional club, where the age is quite high, I will say cautiously. And certainly through our 17 corporate members, we have lowered the average age of the club by about 12 years, because quite a number of the corporate members are much younger employees, and that's been tremendous. The second way it can change a traditional club is through increasing potential for diversity. If you're going out into the world of businesses and organizations, you have a wider range, ethnicities and so on and so forth, of people who may become Rotarians, which can only be for the good. And the third way it changes a traditional club, I think it is so important, and that is it's changing the mindsets of traditional Rotarians about what it means to be a Rotarian. And traditional members, some of whom may have been in the club for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years or longer, are realizing that to be a Rotarian, you don't have to come every week, sit down and have a meal. You can be a really good, active, committed Rotarian by engaging in other ways. And Martin's talked about some of the ways that his corporate members engage with his club. And just to finish, can I just say a few do's and don'ts? Do emphasize partnership. This is very, very much about the Rotary Club making a partnership with the organization you're inviting to be a corporate member. That is so important. And when I go and have the first conversations with potential corporate members, I emphasize that this is very, very much a partnership, and that they are going to gain significantly. And I go through some of the things that I've just been talking about. But at the same time, of course, the Rotary Club is also going to gain members, gain opportunities, more people to engage with service activities and so on and so forth. Absolutely essential that you promote a sense of belonging for these corporate members. I think for the club to have a corporate liaison Rotarian is very important, who communicates with the corporate members on a very regular basis, so they know what's happening on a weekly basis in your club, or a fortnightly basis whenever you meet. Any special activities, events and so on. It's really important that the corporate members feel that they belong to the club. And we certainly make all of our council minutes available to corporate members, because they are Rotarians of the club in the same way that individual members are. Do share examples of good practice, testimonials from some of your corporate members who have said how pleased they are to be a corporate member. Share those with potential members. So those are some of the do's. A couple of don'ts. I think it's very important that you explain to potential members that you are not expecting them to attend your club every week, or even every other week. As I said earlier, these are busy working people, and I think that you have to make it very clear that you are not expecting weekly attendance. You are expecting them to come, of course, and it's up to a club to provide a program which is going to entice corporate members and make it attractive for them to come. But I'm not in any way going to pretend we expect them on a weekly basis, because they wouldn't be able to do that, especially schools and charities and so on and so forth. The other don't that I always put into every initial conversation is don't make it clear that you want their time, and you don't make it clear that you only want them as Rotarians because what they contribute financially. If you're attracting charities and schools, they will run a mile if they think that you only want them to be in the club because of what they're going to contribute financially to the club. And so I think a big don't is don't ask for lots of their time and lots of their money. Just develop a partnership, become friends with this business, and work out a way that they are going to be able to contribute to the club in an effective way with whatever time they have available. And as I say, some of your corporate members will be good sponsors and provide sponsorship for various events, but we certainly wouldn't expect all of them to do that. In fact, with some of the corporate members, such as the hospice, we are helping them to do fundraising rather than asking them to give us money. So I think probably appropriate given the time to stop there, Ken, and we'll continue with some questions, shall we?
Excellent. Thank you, Joy. Thank you so much for that. So we're going to go into Q&A, and Martin's just going to come back on the screen as well. So I've got some quick fire ones to begin. So let me see how we can do this. Joy, can we create a new club solely for corporate membership?
Oh, yes, most definitely is the short answer to that. Is that quick fire?
That's quick fire.
Indeed.
I like that.
Indeed, yes,
And
definitely. And I also know that in 1 or 2 districts, people are working towards that. Yeah.
And maybe Martin, are there limits to the size of company a club should make a member? Is there a minimum?
Limits the size of the company itself?
Yes.
No, anybody welcome. The bigger companies sometimes can't contribute as much as we have a few proverbial one-man bands. We have a plumber, we have an electrician. They're just themselves, but they help out on various charitable dues. But absolutely no limit on the size. Anybody who's interested, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to pick one myself here because I know the answer. Can we define the cost that corporate members pay to district and Britain and Ireland? They are a Rotarian and they pay exactly the same to Britain and Ireland and the districts. That's pretty easy. Joy, one for you. Is there a conflict of interest if a charity becomes a corporate member when their primary purpose is to raise money themselves?
I would say categorically no. And we indeed have 2 or 3 charities who are corporate members, one of which is the North Northumberland Hospice. They're absolutely delighted to be a corporate member, and we have never ever found it any difficulties or issues whatsoever relating to a conflict of interest.
Excellent. Maybe one for both of you. What type of company should be approached first? Martin, do you want to pick that one first?
Any company who's interested. There's no limit to what I think. We have 2 funeral directors, we have a plumber, we have a printer. Whoever's interested in supporting what we try to do for the community.
So it's quite interesting you've said funeral directors. You haven't talked about the taxman there as well. The other settled in life.
We have 2 accountants, we have 2 solicitors, and we have councillors. We have 3 charities. We have the Chamber of Commerce, which is one an easy one for new clubs to probably try and approach. For example, if I may quickly say, Newton Abbot Chamber of Commerce has 100 members. We've joined them as a member of the Chamber, and they've joined us as a corporate member of Rotary. We've doubled the size of our contacts.
And quite often, Rotary clubs get a discount on their Chamber of Commerce fees.
We do. It's a similar sort of fees. It's more as like for like. Yeah.
And then perhaps, Joy, how would this work in a relatively small village area?
Okay. May I just come in on the last question, then I'll come to that
Sure.
one. Yes, I think the question was, who would you approach first?
Yes.
And my response to that is most definitely, if you're going to start this journey with corporate members, go to one where you have got a link between a Rotarian in the club and the organisation that you're going to. If you know someone who works for the organisation, knows the boss, knows the CEO or the owner or whatever, that's a very good place to start. And another very good place to start, I think I mentioned this much earlier, is the place where the club meets. If the club is meeting in a hotel or a golf club or a pub or whatever. And so I would go in the first instance to those companies where you have a contact from a Rotarian in the club with the organisation, and it definitely gains momentum. That is the good news. And I think once you've got 1 or 2 or 3 corporate members, others get to hear about it, and the conversations do get easier as you progress from the first one through to others. I think that's a very important point to make. That's why I came back to that one. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Your second question was about a small club?
I've forgotten what it was now.
I think it was about a small club.
Yeah, it was. How would it work in a relatively small village area?
Well, I would have thought that if it's a small village area, there could be some person who has a contact with an organisation in the village or relating to the village, be it a cafe or a pub or or maybe there is someone living in the small village who works in an organization that would be interested in being a corporate member. So I think if it's a small village, know the village, know who the people are that are working in that village, who may be working for organizations, know what small businesses there may already be in the village, and just take it from there.
So, but here's one for both of you, I think. How should clubs prepare before approaching potential corporate members? Martin, do you want to go first on that one?
Well, we created a two-sided A4 flyer with a few examples, like I think Joy mentioned some testimonials. They've spoken about what they have got out of it and how they enjoy supporting the community. So have some information you can give them and just engage with them. Yeah.
Sure. And the what's in it for me as well if I join Rotary? Answering that type question. So Joy, what's your thoughts on that?
Right, okay. I think there's a lot of preparation. Don't just go into this and think, oh, great, let's just go and do it, because the worst possible scenario is to get a corporate member and then find they're leaving after a few weeks. Preparation. First of all, I think that all members of the club have to know what the corporate membership is all about. And I think all members of the club need to know which businesses are being approached, and they have to understand why they're being approached, and they obviously have to be supportive. You certainly don't want to bring in a corporate member and find you've got a divided club with people saying that's a good idea and some people saying that isn't a good idea. So the first facet of preparation, I think, is to discuss with the club what corporate membership means, how it's going to benefit the club, and go through all the benefits which they are likely to gain. Secondly, I think you need to prepare the benefits for the organization, so that when you go and have those conversations, you're not flying blind. You know exactly what you're going to say to that organization. And I think the benefits for an organization will depend very much on what that company or organization is. So I wouldn't be saying the same to a car dealer as I would be to a hospice or a primary school or whatever. So I think preparation does involve thinking through what will be the benefits of the organization you are going to talk to. And I think the other aspect of preparation is to have a person in the club who is the liaison with the organization, be it different people with different organizations or one corporate liaison person in the club who is going to liaise with all of the corporates. So I do think some preparatory work is very important if it's going to be successful.
And one of the questions is all about integrating them with the current membership. Any more thoughts on that you would expand on?
Well, we find that certainly our older members who have been Rotarians for many years have suddenly found it's nice to have a younger business professional or whatever he is in business to talk to and share their expertise and knowledge, and they can learn a lot from that. And as does the older Rotarians, they enjoy talking. It's a great part of fellowship, and just finding out about each other and what they do. And nothing better for a corporate business than talk about their business. They all love it. That's what they're in business for. And we've found there's absolutely no issue with corporate v Rotarian. They've been embraced. All the ones that have come in have been very welcomed, and it's been a very good success for our club, certainly.
Excellent.
Yeah, I just endorse that. I can just endorse that. It's nobody has ever said this isn't a good idea. They see younger people, they see people joining in with our projects, and it's just been a very positive experience.
Probably a quick good example. We had one of our alternatives who joined us probably 6-7 months ago, came on her second meeting. This is a young lady who's an associate solicitor. Listened to one of our members talking about a charity that he was involved with, needed a trustee, and she's become a trustee for it. So it's the link there. It's great.
Yeah. And we did something similar up in Forres. We invited a local bunch of other charities along to let's share your expertise, but also asked what support they needed. And one of them wanted some IT skills. We can do that. We can help them with that. So there's a mutual benefit in there. And it's just asking the questions what they want as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So here's an admin question for us. Is the procedure for inducting a corporate member any different from any other Rotarian?
No, they're Rotarians. They have the same same process as if it was anybody else coming in to join the club. They do the whole membership acceptance speech, and we do the same thing. We do a 7-day email nowadays to members, see if there's any objection. So that's exactly the same process. Yeah, for the primary member. For the alternates, the primary member is sponsoring them, so it is his responsibility to to control them, basically, or her. Yeah.
The difference is we give them a plaque.
Yeah. They put a plaque on the door. Yeah.
We present them with a plaque or a sticker if they've got windows.
Yeah.
And we give the Rotary pin to the principal and the alternates.
Well,
So
we don't do.
yeah.
We don't give the pin to the alternates because they're not Rotarians. We do for the primary members, but everybody gets a name badge with their name on and their business. Yeah.
We were actually looking at the value of having alternate member or something like that, alternate Rotarian, and I don't know the words to do it, but a pin badge specifically for them, perhaps.
That would be excellent.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Well, we still, probably against Rotary rules, call them associates still, corporate associates, because we're linking them to the business. But it doesn't matter what name they are, as long as they're contributing.
And I think the big message for engaging them in the club business is when you can actually put the alternates into Rotary View and call them a friend of Rotary. So they will still get all the information that the club submits, for example. So a lot of benefit in there. Where's it? I think we've kind of answered this, but maybe if there's anything else, how do we break through the day-to-day priorities faced by senior corporate leaders to garner their interest and time?
Well, just communicate, basically. It's and just keep in contact. I'm seeing one of ours next week, Harry. I haven't seen the lady who's the HR for a large company. She does HR across the world, so she's all over the place. And we've only caught up twice in the last year, but I've actually got her grounded, and I'm seeing her next week. So I'll go into their offices and chat to her. Yeah,
fantastic.
I mean, if I can add to that, Ken, it depends on the organisation, of course, but another example, we have one or two higher education institutions, universities, and a vice chancellor is a very busy person. So how to approach that, go and talk to the dean or talk to one of the other senior members of staff, get them entirely on board, and then they can obviously relay the messages to the very busy senior leader of the institution.
Yeah, good. There was something. Can corporate members join Rotaract? And the answer I can put out, because I was speaking about the other day, Rotaract is a slightly different organisation, and they are looking at that at the moment. So watch that one. And one for Joy. Can we mix models 1 and 2?
Within a club?
Yes.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Absolutely.
If you have, as I say, I know of very few examples where people are using Model 2, but if you have a number of corporates using Model 1 and a business comes along and says, wow, this is so absolutely wonderful, we would like 3 of our employees to be full Rotarians. Wow, fantastic. So the answer is definitely yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
In other words, one size doesn't fit all. One adapts the corporate protocol depending on the business that you're working with.
Part of our action plan is adapt for the future.
Exactly.
Will the Learning Centre be available to corporate members? Joy, I think.
The Learning Centre is available, of course, to the principal member, because that person is a full Rotarian and has full access to the Learning Centre. It is my understanding that parts of My Rotary are available to alternate members. But it's the principal member who has full access to the Learning Centre.
And they can share some of that learning with their alternates.
Exactly.
And perhaps if it's so important, the alternates can become members.
Precisely. And I mean, the Learning Centre is so absolutely wonderful for so many businesses. I mean, we all know what is in the Learning Centre. So many modules which are entirely relevant to the running of the business. And as you've just said, Ken, if the principal member realizes the amazing potential of the Rotary Learning Centre, for staff development, then I think that would be a very, very good reason for that person to decide that other people in the organisation might actually want to become full members.
Somebody's asked us a tax question. Is the membership tax deductible?
I believe it is. It's tax deductible if it's for charity and business purposes.
Yeah.
Just obviously run it past your accountant first, but as my understanding, it's the membership. As long as it's for charitable stroke business, it's tax deductible and probably expenses as well. But always ask your friendly accountant.
Yeah, absolutely, because I don't think any Rotary club on its own is a charity. They've got most of them have got charitable trusts or CIOs, whatever. Any other thoughts on that one, Joy?
I agree. I mean, nothing to add on that one. I agree.
Okay. Any closing thoughts? So we've about 10 minutes to go. Anything you would want to add to what we've been talking about?
I would just try to enforce why we do the corporate membership, particularly with our younger alternate members. What you're creating for the future is future Rotarians. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, maybe not in 10 years' time, but you'll have sold the ethos of Rotary to them by exposing them to it. And later on, when they've grown, maybe they've got their own business, they may look at Rotary more favourable. So you're building blocks. I'd like to put it. Yeah.
Good, Joy?
Yeah, I'd just like to add a bit about further potential. You know, if you've got a lot of corporate members, there's all sorts of exciting ways that this could develop over the years ahead. If it's a large enough organisation, maybe a Rotaract club could start within that organisation, because the organisation will be familiar with the world of Rotary. If sufficient people are interested in an organisation in becoming Rotarians, you could spin off even a separate club. What about a breakfast meeting within the club of employees who would like to meet for breakfast because they've heard about the world of Rotary through their principal alternate members? If you've got younger people in the organisation, there's your Ryler candidates. Absolutely tremendous, a wonderful way of finding Ryler candidates. Maybe other employees would like to join Rotary in their own right. So there's tremendous potential once you are starting to work with an organisation. And I don't see it as stopping at, okay, we've got this organisation, 200 employees or whatever, you know, we're not stopping at one principal member and alternates. There is so much potential for developing that.
No.
And your corporate members will progress to be full Rotarians in their own right when they retire or sell the business.
Absolutely.
One of our past presidents 2 years ago, he joined as a financial advisor with his company. He left that company or retired. He joined, and his wife has joined, and they've been fantastic members of our club. So there is progression there. Yeah.
Sure. I think another tip I would suggest is if you have corporate members and they're having a wonderful time in Rotary, get some testimonials from them. Ask them why they appreciate being corporate members. What is the value of being in Rotary? And then you can use those when you're talking to other potential corporate members. And they're very powerful. When it's corporate members speaking about it is very, very powerful. Much more powerful than me speaking about it, because it's words from the members themselves. So
And there are some testimonials from corporate members in the Britain and Ireland's website on corporate membership.
that's correct. That is correct.
So,
yeah.
I think the one I found most amazing was it the deputy head of a primary school, of a secondary school, gave a testimonial about the advantage that they saw. So we can have a look there. What we're going to do now, so thank you very much for the question answer. We've got about 6 minutes if my watch is right. So I'd like to just share with some of the support that's available, and perhaps if Phil could just share the last couple of slides that we have, and we can go through that. So here we go. So some of the things we do have, there's an online toolkit. It gives all the information. It's got a bunch of promotional materials. It covers everything from recommended models. If there's something needed looking at the club bylaws, it's all there. It's in the Britain and Ireland website, and it's easily found. Just log in through My Rotary, look up corporate membership, it's there. Of course, your district team is there to cradle and support you. Cradle and support you in growing membership in all aspects of membership. And, you know, corporate's one of those channels of membership. And the rest of the district team, and if you're needing things on public image, if you're needing things on some of the materials, if you're needing some of the things on the support, your district membership lead is there to support and cradle you. And to support and cradle your district membership lead, there is the specialist advisor teams, and there's a support for each cluster. So we've got 6 specialist advisors for membership. There's 6 for public image, for foundation, for all the different aspects of Rotary, and they're grouped into the clusters. So Scotland, Ireland, 3 districts have got one. There's 5 districts in the. I find this difficult talking about the north when they talk about north of England, when I'm slightly further north than that. So there's people down in the southwest, people in the southeast, a couple of people in the Midlands. So there's plenty of people there to give us the support and give you the support that you need for developing this. And next slide. So within the same thing, and there's the link to that a place in Brinton, Ireland, rotarygbi.org/members/corporate. The signage, the official signage that's in there and where to get a hold of it, that's been through a lot of work, and that is the format. People have asked us, can I add a logo? Can I do this? That's the format they work on. Print materials to support you is sitting there. Presentations, letter templates, there's videos in there, there's social media. All that information is there solely to support you. And the big question I've got, if there's anything needing changed, if there's anything missing, drop us a note, because we'll fix it and we'll make sure it's all sorted out. But this information's here for you. It's here for you to do what you need to make this corporate membership an exciting place to move forward and keep Rotary viable for the next 120 years and sustainable and relevant to your community. And our next slide, I think, is our final one that Phil will remind me. So how to register corporate members. This is important. So Rotary View, put it in there, member.rotary.gbi.org, select Rotary View, add a member, add the club administration, and then to club membership, select add a new member, and only the primary member should be logged as corporate members. The alternate members can all be logged in the database, but should be down as a friend of Rotary, a club friend. And by that, they are not charged a subscription, but they get all the club correspondence, and that's so important to keep them engaged as well. There's been 49 items put in the Q&A. We've picked up a couple. All the questions will be answered. A lot of the questions have been very similar. And when we looked at the questions that were submitted with your registration, there were so many the same, and hopefully a lot of them have been answered tonight. But if they've not, they will be answered. So trust us on that. I'd like to express our thanks to the team at Britain and Ireland for putting this together for us. James Bolton is hiding in the background here and has done a huge amount of work in some of the material. To Phil Dyer, who's been quietly working away in the background and keeping us all right with spotlighting us and making sure all the slides work. So thank you. To Martin, a huge thank you and well done on Newton Abbot.
Thank you.
And best wishes for the future when that grows. And of course, to Joy, who's done so much hard work in all of this, to come in here and share your experiences and share your time. Thank you so much indeed. And of course, to everyone else on the call, thank you so much. We're still over 300. Have a safe journey back to your couch, and we look forward to catching up with everybody soon. Thank you very much.